Good morning, everyone. There's a high likelihood that today is going to be somewhere in the 4 to 6 hour range again. Just been trying to not kill my voice as much.
Victory awaits.
I love how the dead are just still, like, chilling. To all officers and crew members who have remained faithful to their vows of service, the ship is ours. Glory to the Von Valancius dynasty. Now everything is back to normal. I don't even remember what I was doing before that occurred. Apparently I was visiting this place for the Eye of the Storm. Alright, let's check it out. Let's see what's up. Offering up prayers to the machine god, the auger operators turned their blessed optics toward the very epicenter of the raging magnetic storm. In spite of the thick haze of static covering the auger's picked visors, something unexpected appeared. The auger crew have detected signs of life under the planet's surface. There, in the caves, is a man-made complex. According to the ship's archives, this world is uninhabitable and devoid of useful resources. So the presence of someone's base seems intriguing. Send a team to explore. The enforcers disembarked from next to the suspicious cave. The entrance to the cave turned out to be blocked by a massive plasteel door, once pierced by a Milta charge, then shoddily patched up. Within an ambush awaited your team. Attackers with emaciated bodies pounced from the darkness without warning. The enforcers of the Von Valancius dynasty reacted with lightning speed. They walked away from the vicious battle, not only victorious, but having captured the enemy commander. While a shuttle brought the prisoner aboard the Lord Captain's void ship, scouts searched the base and found a vast hall, the walls of which were dotted with cryovaults, but all but one were disabled and contained the remains of some prominent people, judging by their clothes. The last cryovault was opened and stood empty. In addition, a curious machine was destroyed during the battle. As further inspection would show, this was the very contraption responsible for creating the magnetic storms blanketing the planet, concealing the cemetery from prying eyes. Its machine spirit extinguished forever. Tech priests still managed to extract those parts that held value. Examine the cryovaults. Tech priests sent at your command have reported that the machine spirits of all cryovaults are healthy and obedient, excepting the one living within the opened sarcophagus. This machine spirit is in a terrible condition and afflicted by great madness muddying its algorithms. Interrogate the prisoner. I'll have Cabela interrogate the prisoner. In the hours that followed, the captive became fully aware of how sophisticated and ruthless the blood-spun web can be in its quest for truth. Under torture, the bastard confessed to belonging to the cult of St. Drusus. He and his brothers and sisters were tasked with guarding this strange cemetery and preventing anyone from entering. He equally could not hide that the unfortunate inhabitants of the cryovaults were killed by his people. Alas, that was his last confession as the harsh interrogation finally took its toll. Good morning, Juice Oosterman. All usual noises on the bridge cease when the shadow of a gigantic void ship, seemingly appearing out of nowhere, sails past the stained glass window. It seems forlorn, the hull is tarnished, the lumens are dead, and the windows are broken and shrouded. The auger crew can't recognize the signature of its silent engines. They only manage to shed some light on the decrepit hull and make out the faded name of the cruiser, Queen's Lament. The Voxmaster's report breaks the somber silence. The bridge has just received a Voxcast from the dead void ship. Accept the signal. Big Disc conducts a full Vox system check and reports that the communications are in order. Even though only eerie, unnatural silence can be heard through the Vox, worried murmurs sweep across the bridge. The officers are certain that this is the void ship of the old ghost stories. The Queen's Lament has appeared countless times in all corners of the Imperium like a ghost. It manifested out of nowhere and just as mysteriously vanished in the darkness of space, taking with it those who dared to board. Queen's Lament, the rogue trader, has heard that name before. This void ship was destroyed by Xenos in one of the violent battles for the Expanse over 3 millennia ago. They say that its captain was a devout and vengeful man, sent scouts aboard the void ship. The shuttle carrying the soldiers docks with the Queen's Lament without impediment. Using the disparate blueprints of other Imperial cruisers, the scouting party sets out to the bridge, following the dark, unpowered corridors that somehow retained oxygen and gravity. I don't think I'm hitting max level today. How's it going, Cleve? Hope all is well. That's what it says. The nervous voice of the operator erupts through the Vox. The crew are still on board, but what's this? Blurry silhouettes of people with torn off limbs, cut open bellies, and twisted faces are materializing and vanishing all around in ghastly flashes. The ghosts promise the unwelcome guests that they will stay on board the Queen's Lament forever. Raising his voice to a shout, the operator reports that his comrades are already dead, and soon it will be his turn. The augurs are telling a different story. All the scouts are alive and still moving forward. I'm going to go with the logic, calm the soldier down. He was probably scared by the strange visions and lost sight of his comrades. An anxious prayer to the Emperor is whispered over the Vox. For a moment, the operator falls silent, and suddenly returns, mumbling excuses about his imagination playing tricks on him. His comrades are still walking ahead of him, alive and well, and the void ship looks completely empty again. I mean, all of yesterday I got like 2 levels, I think, so I'm imagining today would be similar. After a few minutes of silence, a child's cry can be heard through the Vox. The stuttering operator reports that friends and family of the members of the scouting party are blocking the way. The friends and family who've all been taken by death. The soldier confirms that they're not seeing ghosts, but living people made of flesh and bone. The soldiers are begging the rogue trader to let them talk to their loved ones for a moment. Remind the soldiers that it's impossible to cheat death. These visions must be a product of some dark powers. Scouts begin to argue. The unintelligible quarreling abruptly stops, and after a few minutes, the operator anxiously gives his report. As soon as the squad split up, the ones who decided to stay with their loved ones were swallowed by the darkness of the empty deck and vanished. Half an hour later, the Vox comes to life once again. The operator flatly reports that the scouting party has reached the bridge. The cogitators are broken, so extracting any data from them seems impossible. Scouts have found a strange object in the captain's chair. They can't describe it, only saying that this shouldn't be there. In his usual flat voice, devoid of emotion, the operator completes his report. The way to the bridge took 16 hours and 41 minutes. The soldiers are exhausted and would like to rest for some time. Confused, Vigdis notes that only half an hour has passed outside the Queen's Lament. Yeah. While true, yesterday's DLC quest gave me, like, a single level. Void Shadows, so. And had lots of reading. Maybe if I wasn't reading everything, I'd be able to do it, but... Order the squad to retrieve the unknown object and withdraw immediately. The Voxcast stops abruptly, and a few minutes later, the scouting party shuttle leaves the Queen's Lament. The void ship itself dissolves into the darkness of space. The shuttle arrives, carrying a single passenger, the operator, clutching a strange parcel. The young man's hairs turned white after the time spent on the cursed vessel, and he has lost the ability to speak. His story and rumors of what happened to the other scouts will live on for many years, in hushed whispers across the deck of the rogue trader's void ship. Yeah, neat. But yeah, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels to go. Lord Captain, I've made an important discovery. When you destroyed the creature the mutants called the Sire, I felt it was my duty to investigate how the abomination had found its way onto our ship. Digging through old inventories and archives of trade transactions, I latched onto a single name, Finger of Sorrow. More than 2 centuries ago, the drifting hulk of this vessel was discovered by Lady Theodora's predecessor. It was a lost merchant ship with a hold full of cargo. I was reminded of the 3 sorrowful phalanges mentioned by the twisted creatures. I dare theorize that this image harkens back to the name of the ship woven into the heretic's belief. A third of the goods taken from the Finger of Sorrow were sold to the Drusian mission on footfall for the needs of a colonization ark, the Wasteland Wayfarer, bound for the world of Jesavin. A third was taken to Hive, Scipione 84-249 on Dargonis, where a mutiny broke out later, and the final third was left on the flagship. Surely you can see where I'm going with this. Centuries later, a cult of mutants emerged in every single location the shipments were delivered to. Where did this Finger of Sorrow come from? It arrived in the Expanse from somewhere in the Calixis sector. More precise information may be contained in the dead vessel's log, but I do not have it in my possession. What do you think these 3 sorrowful phalanges represent? I assume they symbolize the 3 branches of the cult, the Nourishers, the Ravenous Star, and an unnamed cult from Scipione. At least I pray that, to the Emperor that there are only 3. Are you telling me that the Von Valencius dynasty has been transporting genetic aberrations across the expanse? Purely out of ignorance. The creatures probably lurked in the cargo and no one discovered them. Or perhaps, we know these things can take over minds. They could have dominated anyone who stumbled upon their nest. I wish to locate the wreck and investigate it. The coordinates have already been entered into your logbook, your lordship. Zen, how wonderful it is that I found you here. Uncontrollable anxiety washes over your body, causing you to lose your breath. Cassia notices this, closes her eyes, and you are released from the grip of emotions that are not your own. Please forgive me. My powers are sometimes too insistent in their attempts to break free from my control. You've made great strides in learning how to keep them at bay. I commend your perseverance. I came to deliver good tidings. I've spoken with the house's navigators through the Atlas. Of late, I can feel with increasing clarity how our connection is growing stronger. Despite the descent in its midst, House Orselio has been able to keep a precarious equilibrium, thanks in part to your unexpected arrival on Uric 5 and the resolution of the conflict at the Dargonis reception. Not all Orselios concur with your decisions, but none can deny the impact that you and no one else have had on the house's present state of affairs. Cassia nods gratefully, lowers her gaze, and clasps her hands together. There's more I wish to tell you. It's about the visions that I have come to experience at an increasing rate during warp jumps. The same visions come to me again and again and again. It's as if I'm going mad. For you see, these visions are about me, the Atlas, and Tisiphone Orselio, the house's previous noviter. I've seen Tisiphone's experiments, the ones that involve the navigators from the Satala branch, which she was rumored to have destroyed for disobedience. But the visions told me an altogether different story, one where the Satalas helped Tisiphone create the Atlas, and they vanished immediately after the experiments were done with. Perhaps I can... No. I know I can find the way to the Palace of the Atlas if I recreate Tisiphone's journey from my visions. A real palace, not a psychophysical illusion to which the Orselio navigators can reach out. I've always had a feeling that it truly exists in our world. Now, however, I know it with absolute certainty. What makes you so sure that you will find the way to this physical manifestation? I saw Tisiphone experience an epiphany in a dream, just like my visions came to me on our travels through the warp. He beheld a planet hidden behind roiling warp storms. The world promised her great power, so Tisiphone gathered the Satalas, her most devout followers, to go on a suicidal journey through the Tempest. I know not the details of what happened on the planet, but it was there that the Satalas sacrificed themselves for an experiment of some kind. And it was there that House Orselio obtained its Starway Atlas. For the first time ever, I have an opportunity to find answers to the questions my mentors so deftly avoided. Why did Tisiphone choose me? What is the Atlas? Is it true that House Orselio's past is drenched in blood? Please, Zen, do not snap this tautly drawn string of destiny, my destiny. Journey with me in Tisiphone's wake to the distant stars. I shall help you. Cassia breathes a sigh of relief, but the look in her ruby eyes quickly darkens again. The house is still watching me, both the renegades and the loyalists. I doubt any of them will agree even to a brief armistice for the sake of learning the truth about the Atlas's origins, and I do not wish to see House Orselio lose even one more life to another fratricidal skirmish. No, I shall go after the answers about about our past on my own. Um... I'm not sure what to choose here. One sec, I'm gonna blow my nose. Alright, let's invite the Regent. He's been friendly with us. Cassia tiredly rubs her breastplate where it conceals the atlas, then nods. I will pass on the invitation to the Regent, but it would be unreasonable to hope that the incumbent leader will join this expedition. After the events on Dargonis, all of House Orselio trembles before you, and I doubt my family will take the risk. And now, permit me to take my leave. I must start preparing for the journey. From what I have been able to glean, we must first travel to the Orselio prophecy system. Odd that. Could it be that the historical records are lying? And Colleen Orselio is not whom the star system is named after? Either way, that was the system from which Tisiphone embarked on her journey, and we are going to follow her in her long-forgotten footsteps. God, there's so many small things that, to go do. Seriously, I just came from Omicron, and it has the Finger of Sorrow. Alright, going back. Permission to report, Lord Captain. Sorbek's voice is resonant. Mistress Cabela has been apprehended by enforcers at the scene of a crime. Eyewitnesses saw her assault and kill the esteemed chirurgeon Majoris. She has confessed to the murder. The penalty for murdering a senior officer is death. However, given Mistress Cabela's honorable service and her special status, I dare not proceed without your permission. She is incarcerated and awaiting your judgment. Let me know when you are ready to hear her case. Bring Cabela here. I want to know what drove her to murder. Let justice be done. Lord Captain, a murder has been committed on this ship. The victim is one-lettered Forius, Chirurgeon Merjoris. The perpetrator was apprehended at the scene of the crime, admitted her guilt, and did not resist arrest. Cabela appears cold and apathetic. Her unblinking eyes stare vacantly, her expression odd. The Forius clan has invoked a ship's tradition and summoned a requisicator to testify on behalf of the deceased. The masked man bows stiffly and decorously. How do you feel, Cabela? I'm fine. Cabela turns her face toward you slightly. A whisper escapes her lips. This is just hollow ceremony. Pointless. A requisicator? Explain? When there's no one to speak for a deceased person in court, their representative is entitled to seek assistance from a member of the Requisicators Guild. Their duty is to know and remember each and every person on this ship, so that they can defend the interests of the deceased and represent them in court. They study the victim's entire life history to gain the most detailed impression of their personality, deeds, and aspirations. The guild was founded by one of your distant ancestors, and to my knowledge, the Requiescators only exist on our glorious flagship. Tell me, Requiescator, what did Forius like and dislike about his work? He was fascinated by diseases, injuries, pathogens, complications. The part he disliked was the patients. They would not let him concentrate on that which was killing them. Why is a Requiescator speaking for the late Forius? Does the man not have a family? The clan to which the deceased belonged are wary of bringing accusations against the Lord Captain's companion. And the esteemed Leonard never made any courageous friends in his life, having always preferred his work to the company of others. Tell me about the circumstances of the murder. That guild is very grotesque. Interesting. The eyewitness accounts didn't give us much. The deceased and the murderer had a brief conversation, following which Mistress Cabela beheaded the Chirurgian Majoris. The witnesses did not overhear any details of the conversation. Is it true that you killed him, Cabela? Yes. Neither the Chirurgian's death nor her own impending punishment seemed to trouble Cabela. Her pensive dark gaze wanders around the bridge. It was me. Why did you do it? The heartless man enjoyed what he did. His work should have been a holy mission of service. The pain of thousands should have been a solemn sacrifice, yet he derived pleasure from it. It was repulsive. The Undying One never whispered his name. I myself decided to sever his thread. Yes, they do. I told you it would end like this. Why should anyone listen to little old Jai? She shakes her head sullenly. Her colors have changed. The scarlet and the gold are drowning in the rage of muddled crimson. The misty blues of sorrow and the impenetrable greens of doubt. These shades are all in conflict, melding together in a frenetic tapestry. You walked a narrow, dark path across a yawning abyss. It is small wonder that you stumbled. This soul, already mangled by bloody and frightening service, is fractured further still. Can it be saved? Juliet falls silent, leaving her own question unanswered. She was never sane to begin with. Judging lunatics is a thankless duty. The more important thing to address is that her cult is guilty of having drilled the notion of chosenness into her head. The whole sect must answer for this incident. Let us hear the victim's representative. The masked man's voice is unpleasantly creaky. The esteemed Leonard served this voidship and this dynasty for many years. He treated the sick and gained new knowledge in his trade commanded. He saved many, but he himself was not saved. He caused Mistress Cabela no grievance. He never offended her. He merely answered her questions regarding his work, whereupon he was attacked. And so he has the right to demand a reckoning. The death of his murderer would be a lawful and proportionate retribution. The heartless man did more than heal people. He maimed them too, tortured them, killed them slowly, and observed. He treated the sick, and he gained knowledge. The masked head jerks up haughtily. The boots of those who walk the path of wisdom leave bloodied footprints. It is a rule that existed long before the esteemed Leonard did. Whom specifically did Forius torture? Unimportant people, common people, doomed people. The Requiescator shakes drops of imaginary blood from his hands with disgust. This was the esteemed Leonard's way of thinking. Does a doomed leper care whether the disease or the knife is causing them pain? Is the formula for a medicine that would cure distinguished officers not worth the lives of a few dozen commoners turned test subjects. With the knowledge he gained, he invented a multitude of bombs, antidotes, and treatment methods that went on to save thousands of lives. His methods were revolting. His methods were efficient. Only one who has never lain upon an operating table would prefer a principled healer to a competent one. I have learned enough. We humbly await your verdict, Lord Captain. The Forius clan will be awarded a generous indemnity for their loss, to be paid by me. I humbly declare that the esteemed Leonard was indifferent to the fortunes, good or otherwise, of his estranged kinspeople, whom you have made rich, and that he would not be satisfied with this ruling. I cannot be put on trial. Cabella's words are barely louder than a whisper, but everyone hears them. She raises her head, face deathly pale, as if she is asleep with her eyes open. None have the right to judge a spinner of death. Vizier of the Bloodspun Web, only he can judge. Though the Vizier's eyes are sewn shut, one can still read the grief that permeates his wrinkled features. He whispers in a sorrowful voice, "You've strayed from the thread. You have doomed the tenets of the Bloodspun Web to oblivion. What a sorry end, for me, not for you. For I am compelled to usher my apprentice's soul to the other side before it is my own time to go. Why have you come here, Vizier? To take the one who no longer sees the tenets, to give her to him. She is dangerous. To pacify her forever. Such is my duty, and so it must be." Did he whisper my name to you? I do not believe you, Mentor. I am loyal to him. You must have been confused and misread his signs. What is happening to her? She's not herself. The second spinner is in the throes of a spiritual ailment that we call doubt. This most terrible ailment, though harmless to layfolk, is deadly to us. For a doubtful spinner will stray from their destined thread and into bloodthirsty madness. Doubt brings them to the undying one before their time. Our service is demanding. It requires clarity and a sense of purpose that she no longer possesses. Long have I sensed the seeds of anxiety in her, but I hoped her reason would prove stronger and prevail. Alas, now I see the mark of despondence on her. Alas, I know that I'm not mistaken. There must be a way to help her. How would one heal the soul of another? She's fighting a losing battle inside her mind, one she is all but lost. We cannot enter her mind, we cannot reach out a hand to her, although you could. A thread binds the Daemon and his shadow together, a rare thread, a shared thread. Will that connection be enough for your souls to enter harmony? I must attempt to save her at the very least. The Vizier turns his face toward Cabela, who seems withdrawn, her spark snuffed out. He whispers, "Then seek a steward of souls, an artisan who will put you both in a psyker's trance, allowing your minds to become one. You have a chapel full of astropaths, Daemon. One of them will surely do you that service. See that their guidance is strong, for inside her soul you will encounter monsters. Doubt-ridden mind is a dangerous place."
None shall stand in my way.
Come here, Zachary. How are your ghosts? The mistakes of the past no longer haunt me, not in my dreams or in reality, but I still remember. I remember every single one of them. Can you put me in a trance with Cabela? I need to get inside her mind. A synchronized trance is a complex telepathic practice. Things can go awry unless both participants trust each other and have a strong spiritual connection. However, I can sense that you do. I would be honored to be your guide during the ritual, Lord Captain. But remember, it is easy to get lost in another person's thoughts and the fears of others. House monsters. I'm prepared for the risk. Put us in a trance. May the God Emperor aid you, Lord Captain. A shackled mind cannot comprehend the wisdom contained herein. Therefore, repeat, he is death. Release your breath with each word. Cleanse your thoughts. He is death. Truth lies in death. Free your soul from the body's cage. Become nothing. He is death. Now that your heartbeat is a perfect line and your vision is shrouded in dusk, you have almost reached a state of purity and balance. Heed. No human will see death before their time. That is the delusion of the living. Heed. To which we say, a strong spirit can travel there and make the journey back. Heed the tale of the great Daemon who descended into the kingdom of the dead to retrieve his shadow. He is death. Birth and death are one. We are snatched from a place of warmth and sent blood-covered into an unfamiliar world. Dying is the same. The Daemon, too, learned this as he opened his eyes and found himself on the lower decks, lying in a cold coffin. He beheld his ship, drifting through nothingness, an adamantine giant's corpse, a skeleton moaning from the winds of entropy. A tempest of rust was gnawing at its plasteel bones and twisting its vein like cables, while machine oil oozed down its bulkheads like lymph. Had the Daemon been alone, he would have lost his way inside the ship's mangled bowels, but a guide reached out a hand to him. The spirit of old Veni Zachary had loyally followed the Daemon to the other side. In the labyrinth of the hereafter, the piercing gaze of Zachary discerned the thorny path to the halls of death. The loyal servant swore to protect his lord. Together, the Daemon and the Veni made their way up through the malformed frame of the ship. From the cold catacombs to the lower decks, they traveled up into the fires of the ship's crematorium. Tongues of flame licked at them. Yet they did not burn. Columns of the dead marched toward them to be turned to ash in the fire, and the Daemon and the Veni walked toward the dead in turn. At the great gate of the crematorium, their path was blocked by the executioner, a sentinel made of metal spikes and coiling blades with roaring flame and pale, bleeding bodies writhing within. Such is a blade that has lost the strength of the tenets. A murderous monster, no longer driven by faith, but by dark desires. The Daemon saw that a fight was inevitable, and banished the monster with a fervent prayer to the Emperor. The beast prostrated itself and began to tear its own body apart. The words of true faith pacify even the worst of evils with a sense of shame and self-loathing, and a card of his tarot appeared in the Daemon's hand. It was the God Emperor, and the first doubt was dispelled. He is death. Veni Zachary led the Daemon out of the hot furnace of the crematorium, and they walked past long columns of the dead. Frayed was their attire. Their bones scraped against the augmetics and scratched their decrepit flesh. They were moaning sorrowfully, and the sound made memory fade. The Daemon saw the dead were carrying an ark. The inside, and inside the ark was a thing, a lost child, cocooned in silk, shedding crimson tears for the unknown. The unliving carried her as servants would carry their lady, and loudly lamented their fate. Such as a blade mired in broodings over her lost past, a helpless child, paralyzed by regret, lest he sink into the soft rot of their wails and perish, the Daemon sternly ordered the apparition to vanish. The creature wailed and trailed off into the void like a river of rot. Her doubt weakens the spirit, and weakness always loses to strength. And a card of his tarot appeared in the Daemon's hand. It was the star, and the second doubt was dispelled. He is death. Bella's character slate feels very inspired by KOTOR 2. That's very interesting. I haven't actually played KOTOR or KOTOR 2, so that is interesting to know. And the old Venny led the Daemon to the upper decks, and the Daemon entered into the officers' chambers. A web of veins adorned the walls, entangling the precious trophies, and statues were bound in intertwining sinews. And high upon a balcony, the dismembered judge wailed as he attempted to reassemble himself with his pale hands, but his movements merely tightened the tangle of flesh, turning the chambers into a snare. Such is a blade, tangled and trapped in misunderstood teachings, a hapless creature that does not know its place in the world. In order to continue on his journey, the Daemon helped the judge by returning each of his organs to their proper place. And the judge became whole again, and regained his comprehension of the world. For one who is wise can make whole that what was broken. And a card of his tarot appeared in the Daemon's hand. It was the rogue traitor, and the third doubt was dispelled. He is death. The flagship's bridge was draped in skulls and webs, and pale souls of the dead flocked to the foot of the throne upon which sat the undying emperor, the protector of mankind. May his praises be innumerable. Starlight shone coldly in the eyes of his skull, and the galaxy rested in his mighty hand. The Daemon approached his throne and went down on one knee, offering a prayer to him. The Undying One heeded the words spoken to him and lowered his brow of bone, acknowledging that he had heard the prayer, as he had heard the Daemon's other prayers before. Then the Undying One spoke, and these words are to be preserved in your heart as the greatest of prayers, for they sprang from a source that was and is the holiest of all things. I know you, Daemon. I know your heart, and the softness that dwells within it. Many who were due to pass on to me remained alive as your heart willed, but I am not angered, for they will pass on to me in the end. The Undying Emperor, may his praises be innumerable, said no more, and it was the Daemon's turn to speak. KOTOR games are products of their time and have not aged terribly well. Unfortunate. Because they've been on my list of games to play. Admittedly, relatively low, just because I'm not huge into Star Wars. But it is the type of game that I would enjoy. So. And speak the Daemon did, saying that he had come to find his shadow and rescue her. The skeletal fingers stirred, and the Daemon's shadow loomed out of the darkness beside his throne. She was bound in black chains and asleep. The Undying One was silent. Now was the time to offer a payment. As death would give nothing away without payment in return. And the Daemon promised the Undying One. I go the Iconoclast Fanatic. Ah, it's the graphics that didn't age well. Gotcha. That makes sense. I wonder if there's mods for the graphics. Nothing. For everything in this world is nothing, and the Undying One himself is Lord of Nothing. Those were true words, for everything is indeed nothing, and the Undying Emperor is Lord of Nothing. For all things live only to turn to dust and death. The Daemon's wisdom pleased the Undying One. Then the Undying Emperor leant over the Daemon and drove a skeletal finger right into his heart, and he pulled at the scarlet thread of his soul, and the thread trembled, stretched to the limit. It was then that a revelation came to the Daemon. A life must be paid for a life, and a name was revealed to him. Naki Erebus. It was the life the Undying One demanded as payment, and the Daemon agreed to the price. An oath of blood was sworn, and the chain fell from the Daemon's shadow. Yet she remained silent and motionless, for she saw no sense in leaving the halls of death, to which the Daemon told her that her duty to the Undying One and the Daemon had not yet been fulfilled, that in beholding death as one of the living, she had received a gift of unparalleled greatness. I'm gonna go that in beholding death, number 2. And there was clarity in the Shadow's soul, and her eyes opened, her doubt was banished, and she glimpsed the truth in her Lord's words, that the Shadow's encounter with death had taught her many things about the flow of fate's currents, and thus she was now positioned to decide which thread to sever. Second spinner, Cabela, Death's chosen one, may she be glorified. He is Death. The Daemon and his shadow left the bridge of the Undying Emperor. May his praises be innumerable, and their path was strewn with his tarot cards. Among them, the Daemon saw the card of the Executioner, who carries out sentences and brings a violent end to that which he did not begin. Among them, the Daemon saw the card of the Judge, who weighs and separates guilt from innocence and passes his verdict, and they descended into the lower bays, lay down in a stone coffin, and closed their eyes, and the Daemon heard the Undying Emperor's voice promising they would meet again, and soon. And thereupon their journey ended, and so it was that the Daemon, having seen death before his due time, traveled there and back to bring us these tidings and wisdoms. Be free of doubts as you walk along the threads of the blood-spun web, for those threads lead to him, as does all of existence. He is Death. As the shock of another mind's jumbled thoughts stops constricting your throat, you find yourself staring at Cabela's pale face. It has settled into a strange expression. Daemon, I spoke to the Emperor. That was not the Emperor, Lord Captain. It was merely Mistress Cabela's vision of him, a figment born out of her imagination. Alas, none among my fellows are powerful enough to bring you the voice of the protector of mankind. Look at the choir master. Breathing heavily, the choir master covers his face and whispers, "It is over, Lord Captain. We are in the world of flesh again. Are you well, Cabela? Do you remember what happened? How we met? Death? I remember stumbling. I remember my doubt in the truth of the tenets throwing me off my feet. I remember deciding to kill, and not because I had heard his whisper, but because I deemed it to be right. Death whispered my name, for a spinner without a thread is like a sky without stars. They would drown in their own soul's darkness." But you have reminded me of who I am, and that my shameful weakness must be extinguished. This Naki Erebus is the payment the Undying One demands. The price of redemption. The price of freedom. Who is this person? Where are they from? I do not know. Help me find them, Daman. Your factotum oversees archives that contain many names. Let him find the one that death has spoken, and I will pay the price that was set. For I know, I feel with all my essence, the death of Naki Erebus is the key, the answer to my questions. Why do I have a feeling that she is Naki Erebus? I must locate someone named Naki Erebus. Find whatever information you can. Erebus. The clan name is familiar. If I may ask your lordship to give me a little time, the flagship's archives being as vast as they are, I will spare no effort in finding Naki Erebus as soon as possible. I found them, your lordship. The Erebus family are a lesser Voidborn clan. They served in the boarding teams for many generations, spilling blood in the name of the dynasty. In the service of her ladyship, Theodora, Erebuses displayed impeccable heroism on several occasions. Unfortunately, the clan was all but wiped out 2 decades ago during a confrontation with enemies of humanity. For their valor and sacrifice, Lady Theodora granted the surviving members of the clan noble estate privileges and the right to settle on the capital world. It is not common for the Voidborn to settle on a planet. Gravity is merciless to the Voidborn, but that does not mean they are incapable of adapting to it. Living on the capital world is a reward worth putting in the effort for. And what about Naki Erebus? The name Naki appears in reports. At least a dozen different women bore it over several centuries, but there's no data on any living person with that name. The head of the Erebus family will likely have more information about the past 2 decades of their clan's history on Dargonis. I have no idea who Naki is. I have a feeling it is Cabela, though. I must go to Dargonis. I will send the dynasty's representative on to the capital world an instruction to summon the Erebus family to the palace. Alright. It is time for ads. The ads will last for 3 minutes. They disable pre-roll and mid-roll ads for the next hour on Twitch. I don't do anything in the meantime, so nobody misses out on any content. And I will catch everyone after the ads. Alright, the ads have finished. Let us continue. I'm gonna ask this question multiple times today and probably over the course of the next few days, just to poll and get my viewers' opinions. But when I get done with this playthrough of Rogue Trader, supposing I win, if I die, I keep going until I win. But supposing I win, what do people want to see next? Do we want to see more Rogue Trader? Do we want to see another CRPG? I kind of have the itch for Age of Wonders 4 lately, but I don't know how long that itch will last, and also I am getting to play it a little bit with Falcon off-stream. We're doing a collab series on YouTube with it, where we do some multiplayer. So there is that as well. Another CRPG would be great. Being Rogue Trader simultaneously the busiest and least busy job, you know? Yeah. Another CRPG would be great. Alright. I will keep that in the log. I'll probably make a poll on my YouTube and then, like, a poll in the Discord as well at some point. The hulk of a merchant ship drifts through the void like a gutted corpse. The hull is riddled with gouges from macro cannon fire. The soot-covered letters on the sides spell out in a somber name. Finger of Sorrow. Use the augers to examine the ship. The ship is devoid of vital signs. Life support systems have long since failed. Cold darkness and silence fill the wreck of the Finger of Sorrow. Dispatch an expedition. A squad of enforcers and tech priests put on their void suits and dock with the ship. The vessel is empty except for the frozen and desiccated corpses of the crew. Some retain human features, but others are easily recognizable as genetic aberrations. They've been dead for centuries. Examine the logbook on the bridge. The Finger of Sorrow was a common merchant vessel. The log records its travels along many of the trade routes of the Calixis sector. The last entry states that the ship departed from Port Wander on the border between the Cronus Expanse and the Calixis sector. The tech priest notes that the protocols for undocking from the station were not followed, indicating either a hasty escape or blatant disregard for the covenants of the Omnissiah. Search the hold. The hold is empty, apart from a few open containers. However, careful examination points to 3 opened service hatches that bear claw marks. Venturing deeper into the service tunnels, the enforcers find 3 empty nests with chunks of purple chitin and dried traces of dark slime that has eaten through the metal panels. There can be no doubt that gene stealers once lurked here. Inspect the cabins. Many of the cabins have become tombs for the bodies of the crew. They asphyxiated when the ship's life support systems failed. One of the enforcers notices a cache marked with a symbol of a fanged serpent with a sharp tail and 3 clawed limbs. The cache contains an amulet and a miraculously preserved diary. Ooh, that is spicy. You can't have Dogmatic Follower, though. Huh. That is almost impossible to not have. Unless you just skip, like, a bunch of, really good planet upgrades. Huh. Very interesting. At least on the Rogue Trader. Like, you can throw it on, you know, other people like Adira or something, but... Relay the contents of the diary to the flagship. The diary was kept by one of the missionaries of a gene stealer cult. According to the entries, this cult secretly spread throughout much of the Calixis sector. Although the author does not mention any specific infected worlds, he recalls with reverence the Promised Land, the Cradle of Faith, salty as the tears of the righteous martyrs. The author's branch of the cult had settled on Port Wander Station, the last threshold between Calixis sector and the Cronus Expanse. The cult grew and gained followers among the workers and the poor, and even managed to infiltrate powerful trade guilds. However, their plans fell apart when the Gene Stealer's kiss was granted to an unworthy candidate. This oversight led to the discovery of the cult and a bloody purge. The author of the diary recalls with horror and sorrow how many of the pure-blood children of the Star Savior perished in the massacre. Yeah, nah, that's fine. I'm just curious what I should do next to, you know, retain as many viewers as possible and or possibly grow. And polling my existing audience is a good way to ensure that they don't wander off. The story ends by chronicling the escape of a small group of heretics who managed to save 3 purebreds and steal a merchant ship under heavy fire from the station. They narrowly navigated the maw, but the ship's damage was too severe. The 3 phalanges of the Finger of Sorrow, the pureblood Star children, fell into a deep sleep and became dormant. Meanwhile, the cultists humbly watched the ship's life support systems fade away one after another. In the last lines, the author welcomes death in the name of the many-armed emperor with solemnity and elation. Destroy the ship. The enforcers plant melta charges at key points on the vessel, and the explosion rips the Finger of Sorrow to pieces that are obliterated by strikes from the macro cannons. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if I do another Rogue Trader playthrough, it would be a heretical one. And the build I had made for that was going to be using the Psyker's Breastplate, which they just recently heavily nerfed. So I don't know, I might have to find some other build, or maybe I do a playthrough of another CRPG and then come back to Rogue Trader after another patch or 2 has landed to fix some of the bugs, like with Executioner and such like that. I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas around. I enjoy streaming, I enjoy gaming. I would probably be down for pretty much anything not a shooter. Screw this, I'm just coming over here. I have plenty of Navigator's insight. Ships and... okay, this is just the hostile Immaterium thing. That is fair. Though, thinking about it, maybe I want to do a different type of game. My poor throat, it hurts so much lately. I was listening to some of my VODs while timestamping them for YouTube. And by the end of the stream, I can hear how just obliterated my voice sounds. Maybe a game with more VA work? No, not Baldur's Gate 3. Not again. I'm messing. Baldur's Gate 3 is a fun game. It's not a particularly hard one. If I did Baldur's Gate 3, it would be very heavily modded. I have been told that you summoned the Erebus family to your court. Your subjects in question, along with their 4 offspring, have already arrived at the palace. They will attend the reception, honoring your return to the capital world. Announce that the reception is starting. I am ready to receive the Erebus family. As you wish, your lordship. There we go. Bella will replace Irliet. She is underleveled, that is fine. Her presence is decorative. Your lordship, allow me to introduce the next guests, protectors of Dargonis from the void between the stars. Brander and Zioni of House Erebus, along with their heirs, Mattis, Lorna, Rono, and Lumi Erebus, void to the dynasty. Officers Randy and Zioni, Erebus both make sign of the Aquila, reverent expressions on their battle-scarred faces. Beside them are their children, raised to love the God Emperor. They are mild-mannered, but fascinated by their new surroundings. Judging by their uniforms, the 2 eldest children are already members of the Dargonis Planetary Guard. Your lordship, it is a great honor for House Erebus to be invited to your palace. There's a glimpse of distinct anxiety in Rander Erebus's eyes. Zioni touches her husband's palm ever so slightly, gives him a reassuring nod, and then addresses you. As a token of our greatest reverence for the Von Valancius dynasty, allow me to present you with a modest family relic from the Erebus clan. May it serve you faithfully. What does this scale off of? Resolve. How is the Erebus, how is House Erebus faring on Dargonis? We are delighted by the favor shown to us, your lordship. Life in the capital is much calmer and slower compared to the ship, and I have almost gotten used to the gravity. The prosthetic supporting Rander's spine creaks under his clothes as he attempts an awkward bow. Bella whispers, just barely audibly, a crowd, the Damon's attention, and this being their first visit to the palace, they are nervous. You must give these people time. Let them get accustomed to their surroundings and to your presence. Let them wander around the hall and taste the food. We will talk to each one individually. As the Erebus parents notice a blood-spun web cultist at your side, they exchange glances, an almost imperceptible tension hanging in the air. Are you finding the reception to your liking? It is beyond all our expectations. We could not have dreamt of something like this, to be honest. Even just permission to settle on Dargonis and continue our service on the dynasty's capital world was a most gracious gesture on Lady Theodora's part. We did not expect any further attention. Zioni smiles gently, but her fingers are fidgeting with her heirloom pendant. Let us enjoy the evening. Join the guests. We will talk later. Of course, your lordship. We are available for you at any time. Alright, let us level Cabela up. Cabela... This is Rising Tempo and Awareness, and then Duelist and Awareness. Except I already have Rising Tempo. How did that happen? Where did I get Rising Tempo? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong build. That's why. This is the Executioner one. Derp. That would be why. Duelist Awareness, Sweeping Motions Awareness. There we go. There we are.
A new challenge for me?
Alright, let's talk with Randor and Zioni Erebus. Your lordship, allow us to thank you once again for this honor. Though we left the flagship a long time ago, it is a pleasure to be in the presence of a Lord Captain again. Zioni looks at you with a pensive, unblinking gaze, her eyes darker than the night sky. We realize that your attention to House Erebus was brought on by some manner of circumstances. Please let us know how we can be of service to you, and we will do what you require. A keen observation. Randor's eyes meet Cabela's as she speaks, but he is not intimidated. On the contrary, the corner of his mouth curves upwards slightly, and he gives a respectful nod. Tell me about the Erebus family. Sadly, we are but a shadow of what was once a much more numerous clan. Most of our kinspeople fell in battle, but we believe the Erebus's last battle is yet to be fought. We raise cohorts of successors, we teach new recruits, and our own children, the ins and outs of Void Service before they even set foot on board. The new generation are learning to serve in their own way. Our eldest son, Mattis, is on the Planetary Guard, so is Lorna, our eldest daughter, though she has devoted herself to medicine. And to my great surprise and elation, our younger children, Rono and Lumi, have found their vocation in serving the God Emperor and the Ecclesiarchy. You remember Theodora well? I won't lie, your lordship, we never saw her in person. We did not have the rank. Even her favor was bestowed on us in the form of a document, penned and delivered by scribe. But we remember her orders, and they were reflective of all the courage and fervor of a true rogue trader. I'm looking for a Naki Erebus. The ship's archives mention several of your ancestors, but the one I need is a living person. The couple exchange glances again. Our clan has a tradition. We name our children in honor of our past heroes, Mattis and Naki Erebus, the twin founders of our family, a great warrior and a keeper of knowledge. Legend had it that a great future awaited bearers of those names. Every Mattis or Naki Erebus would add to the clan's renown, and they would prove faithful assistants to any lord captain they served. But legends are just that, legends. It is not names that give people strength, but the faith inside their hearts. Is there currently anyone named Naki in your household? No. No one has borne that name for many years now. Your son bears the name Mattis? What can I say? I've always wanted to raise a great person. Then why did you name your daughter Lorna and not Naki? Do you not want her to become great? I didn't. They did name a daughter Naki. Cabela's words hang heavy in the air. Ziona Erebus nods slowly in response, a sad smile upon her lips. We did, but the Emperor took her from us. The Undying Emperor. You were followers of the Bloodspun Web? No, your lordship. Rander and I, we have always been stalwart in our faith, and we revered the Spinner's service, but their sacred path was too dark and frightening for us. We may not have understood the details of the Bloodspun Web, but we never doubted that the Spinners carried out his will, for they gave their all to their duty. It is a heavy duty, but a true duty always is. Let us go, Cabela whispers softly. I have heard and seen all I needed to. You're pressing down too hard on your quill, Lumi. Look how thick your lines are. And the ink hasn't dried. Mother will be livid when she sees this stain on my cuff. Why don't you watch what you're doing instead of lecturing me again? How many times has Master Rogbird said, apply the base colors first, then the darker shades? The Erebus children are leaning over a sheet of parchment, arguing passionately. The small, finely made box next to them contains quills and a few bottles of ink. Cabela's shadow hangs over the younger Erebuses. Her unblinking gaze carefully studies the unfinished drawing and grows gloomier still. Your lordship, we are honored to be at the Von Valencius Palace. I am Lorna Erebus, a pale young woman, slightly shorter than Cabela, smooths a lock of her dark hair nervously as she stands between her younger siblings and the spinner. Look at the drawing. The parchment is an unfinished family portrait showing the Erebus parents and their 4 children. The young artist's skill is impressive, but your attention is drawn not to the fine lines and shading, but the sketch of the dark figure added in by a still more masterful hand. Our family was once renowned for their courage, but Dargonis has no need for boarding teams, so our parents enrolled Rono and Lumi in the scriptorium to study religious painting. That dark shape in the portrait, you drew it in, did you not, Lorna? Who is it? Lorna purses her lips and looks away. Mother says the Erebus clan has a secret guardian that protects us from the shadows, and I thought it would be unfair to draw all of us, but not them. Silly, I know. That is proper. That is honorable. Bella barges into the conversation, wincing, then whispers softly, Come, Daman, let us frighten them no more. Thank you for your hospitality, your lordship. Bella casts a final glance at the portrait, then quietly walks away. Your lordship, Senior Lieutenant Mattis Erebus, at your service. The tall, dark-haired man enunciates sharply as he salutes you with great fervor. Breathless from his own audacity, he blurts out, I hope I don't sound too bold if I say I've always dreamt of serving on your flagship. Would it be too much for a modest servant of the dynasty to hope that the Lord Captain might graciously make him part of his crew? Bella soundlessly appears at your side. Her face is reflected in Mattis's dark eyes. As their gazes meet, they both freeze in astonishment and lower their heads. If Cabela had enough to eat growing up, if she had not put her body through grueling trials, if she had not used intoxicants during the cult's rituals, you might have said the two bore quite the resemblance to each other. Hey, I called it. Mattis looks away first. Pardon my tactlessness, mistress. He clears his throat. I have the strangest feeling that we've met before. Bella takes her time to reply. You were born on a world and absorbed a hive's scents. I would have remembered someone who smelled like that. I do not know you. Do you believe yourself fit to serve on the flagship? I have served dutifully in the planetary forces, your lordship. Governor Drivestem even awarded me a medal for defending the Southern Hive against the Xenos. I may have been born on a gravity-bound world, but my heart belongs to the void. So your reasons are your unflinching courage and your love of the stars. There is another reason, your lordship, but I'm afraid you will find it laughable. You see, I have always known my destiny awaits me on the flagship, because ever since I was a child, I've had the same dream over and over. A dark-haired young woman walking barefoot along the decks, and me following in her footsteps. I would run, but could never catch up to her. My father told me he had felt something of the sort when he met my mother. I believe my future awaits me there. Very well, I will accept you into my service. This is truly an honor for me, Lord Captain. I will not let you down. Glory to House von Valencius. Enough. Cabella's cold, raspy voice sends a shiver down your spine. Cabella's cry brings the Erebus family back together. 6 alarmed faces, 6 people shoulder to shoulder like a fortress wall, and one lone, grim figure opposite them. The shadow peers into their dark eyes, the same as her own, their pale lips, the same as her own. She clenches her fists, ignoring the steel claws that pierce her palms. Enough. I know who Naki Erebus is. Her unblinking gaze turns to you. And so do I. Naki. Zioni Erebus looks at Cabela with scarcely concealed fear, but her husband notices her reaction and shakes his head in warning. No, Mattis screams. How could you keep something like that to yourselves? How could you? Orna hugs her younger brother and sister, who cast frightened glances at their parents and the sinister woman with a wry smile. Naki Erebus? Naki Erebus is me. So all this time, Mattis, your dreams were showing you? The woman who was destined for me? Not the love of my life, but my sister? Mattis shudders and stares intently at Cabela. I didn't know. Do you remember me? I remember what I'm permitted to remember. The tenets of the web, prayers to the Undying One, the names of poisons and intoxicants, the name the Vizier gave me. But you? No. I do not remember you. I do not know you. You mentioned a guardian in the shadows, did you not, Lorna? An unseen shadow, a servant of death. Mother called her Naki, but I knew she was talking to someone she knew. You lied when you said the Emperor had taken Naki? We did not lie. We would never have dared. Rander looks over at Cabela, her dark hair, her scars. Naki? A few years before Lady Theodora sent our clan survivors to Dargonis, the Bloodspun Web's Vizier came to our bay. He said the Emperor demanded the firstborn of the Erebus clan, that he needed a new spinner. 6 months later, we had twins, a boy and a girl with eyes darker than darkness itself. You were born first, Naki, and with sorrow and pride we gave the Vizier our most precious treasure, for that is how one honors the God Emperor. A difficult choice, but a righteous and devout one. I shall refrain from interfering here. So, if I had been born a minute earlier, that animated corpse standing before you today would have been me. Mattis recoils from his parents. But why doesn't she remember anything? Why was she never told? The ritual of releasing the burden. Cabela steps up to her brother, who is so completely like her, yet so thoroughly different. New Bloodspun Web recruits undergo it in order to forget their past and devote themselves to the Undying One, and so that their souls do not suffer. Tell me, Mattis, is your soul in pain? It only hurts because I never knew you all these years. Cabela turns to you sharply. We are here to settle our debt to the Undying One. We now have the name, the person, and the explanation. I know what must be done. So why do I feel pain from an unseen wound in my heart? Why am I, for the first time in my life, hesitant to sever a thread? All this time, I have been wandering the labyrinth of my mind, but the answer never came to me. What must I do, Daman? How do I end Naki Erebus? Naki is of the past. When those who remember her die, she will too. Her eyes grow colder than the void itself. You are right, Daman. Forgive my insolence. But you and the guests should leave the hall. I have personal business to settle. The Erebuses start to edge back in terror, but freeze in place at one gesture from Cabela.
Follow my lead.
Come, Daman, we must descend into the Temple of Death, where I will report on my assignment and ask the Vizier a single question. Why me? Okay. Where's the Vizier? What? The truth regarding Naki Erebus is out, and the rogue trader is to accompany the second spinner to the temple where she... Okay, I guess maybe I just have to talk to her.
Take heed.
I'm
Mama.
ready.
Our blessed Domin honors us with a visit. The
Let us
one
present
who
ourselves
delivered
to the
this
Vizier.
ark from the curse of your existence. Come, Domin.
Just gonna make sure there's nothing to loot here. It looks like nothing's changed since the last time I was here. Alright. The Vizier whispers a prayer, his masked face turned toward the Undying One's image. Instead of his usual threadbare clothes, he's wearing elegant armor of bone and dark gold, marked with purity seals. He turns as he hears you approach. Cabela, I've been hearing your footsteps for a long time, and his whispers. Daman, Lord of the Ark, it is good that you are here with her. It is right. The Undying One has blessed this union of light and shadow. You greet us clad in armor. Are you preparing for battle? Today is a special day. I have only donned this armor once before when I was second spinner. That day, I ceased to be second, but I have remembered the weight of this gold on my shoulders and chest through all the years since. Cabela opens her mouth, but the Vizier stops her with a gesture. You will understand, my daughter. You will understand soon. We have learned how Cabela came to be part of the Bloodspun Web. We have met her family. The Undying One's congregation sacrifices the blood of its blood. That is how spinners are brought into the temple. But only those who would serve him of their own volition stay and spin the Bloodspun Web, as Cabela did. Your words are dishonest. The ritual of releasing the burden erased me, made me hollow. What will of my own I had, you took from me, and filled me with yours instead. The Vizier's voice becomes astonishingly gentle. My daughter, do you believe you have only served him because I set you on the thread of the web? Do you believe you have no faith in him? You know that that is not true. You are right, my mentor. The path I walk is mine, and I thank you for setting me on it. Cabela has been cured of her affliction. That this is true. No longer do I see anguish in her soul. Second Spinner, I am ready to receive your report. Have you accomplished the task the Undying One himself set you? Yes, Mentor. My mission has been accomplished. The Undying One revealed a name to me, and I found my mark. Everyone the name of Naki Erebus ever meant anything to is dead. Naki is no longer among the living. This was difficult for you to do, my daughter. I understand, and I am sorry. But such was the Undying One's wish. A tired sigh escapes the Vizier's chest. A harrowing sacrament. A ruthless ritual. I am relieved that it is nearing the end. Everything is coming together, just as he revealed to me. Perfection has been sculpted. The affliction I nurtured has been vanquished. The choice has been made. So whence all the sadness, my daughter? The Vizier shakes his head, suddenly looking very human. His shoulders droop, and he extends a hand toward Cabela. Sacrament, are we being dragged into another ritual? A great ritual. Many decades ago, the Undying One revealed through a tarot reading what must come to pass, and I heeded. The Bloodspun Web's path toward gaining a new Vizier was then conceived. A path of discovery, devotion, dying, and resurrection in purity. Cabela's predecessor stumbled on that path. So did the next one. I waited. I have lived long past my due time. The Undying One has been waiting for me for so long. What do you mean, the affliction you nurtured? Was it you who doomed Cabela to her suffering? The Undying One laid the thread, and I served as guide. The meeting with you and your world, Damin, the hunt for the Nemesite, her grim and ghastly doppelganger, the comprehension of her flock's pain, my assignments stirred anxiety in my daughter's soul, as they were meant to. You are cruel, Vizier? Yes. It is difficult to be cruel to someone you love. Have you come to know that? I forgive you for your cruelty, Mentor. What will happen now? Cabela will be the new Vizier. Her journey to the Undying One and the choice she made will be reflected in the Bloodspun Web's new pattern. As for me, I will go to him, as I have long awaited. The confusion and alarm in Cabela's face gives way to anger and horror. Her face distorts like crumbling paper mask as the emotions wash over her. Too many emotions for one whose soul has gone dead. I have not yet done all that you expect me to, have I? That is correct, my daughter. Can you feel it? The proper way this burden has been passed? Or must be passed? Agony distorts Cabela's features, but she clenches her fist and nods. We must summon death to these halls and glorify him. Is a simple transition of power not possible? Why must there be bloodshed? Because great things are not achieved in small ways. Because if you worship him, Your sacrifice to him must be great as well. Blood is our gift, the only thing that is truly ours, and the only worthy way to worship and honor him. Let that which must be done, be done. Still, it is unfair. Bella's face has become a death mask. The Vizier's voice is full of sorrow and humility. Yes, for I am stronger than you, and my high spinners stand with me, those who swore an oath to protect me and not outlive me. And he who stands with me, his face will emerge out of mine, and may those you chose when you set out along the threads of the web, your comrades, your damen, may they stand with you. Fight with no regret. Farewell, my daughter. Let us honor the Undying One. Let us honor him.
Take a knee and bow before me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one as well.
Stop hitting me, Ashmag! Am I getting paid for this? Don't get too cocky.
Alright. So what kind of cool things do you have? Alright, cool.
Tell me, and it is done. Don't get too cocky. I can do that, with the right incentive. You've got a problem? I've got a prize.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tell me, and it is done. I can do that, with the right incentive.
The machine spirit's Lucius, and rely on you. Astute observation. Assess and act, tech assistant. I cannot comply.
Alright, and then...
But I did not understand.
Scorn the pain. Your turn. Naturally.
Avert your eyes.
But of course, Lord Captain.
I feel the blasphemous breath of undeath.
Go on, beast. Do my bidding.
Follow my lead.
Blasphemy terminated.
As the sixth spinner comes over and kills itself from retaliation damage, or reflect damage from Aogen's what is it? Kinetic module? Is that it? No. Oh, he doesn't throw it on himself, right? It is the galvanic field.
I won't object. Let's see to it.
Nothing I can't do. Not a problem for me.
Alright, then I can come over here. Reckless Strike. Brace.
All too
Devastating attack.
suits my no.
I can come back here. Charge in.
Already done. Watch and learn. Another clean strike.
Come up here. Wildfire.
Never wavered in the face of adversity. There's nowhere to hide. You didn't stand a chance.
Alright, and then I give
Nothing
Aogen
I can't do.
this so that I may
Conduit of the machine.
have another turn.
All too easy.
Galvanize. Reckless Strike. Devastating attack. Sworn enemy.
Nothing I can't do.
The thread is unbroken. The Undying One has not yet reached out his hand to me.
Already done. Watch and learn. Doubting me was your biggest mistake.
What is the range on this? 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Nothing I can't do. All too easy. She didn't stand a chance.
And I'm gonna have to use this. If it will let me, the Daring Breach. To get more movement.
I bring glory to my bloodline. Not a problem for me. Nowhere to hide. Let's see how they respond to this.
Oh! Oh, this is a fun fight. I was like, this is nothing so far. But we have the Undying Emperor to fight? This is interesting. Alright. Let's come over here and beat up on the Emperor. Second most interesting enemy post Act 3. Oh, is this a new battle? Am I... Why do I have some buffs, but not others? Okay. That fight seemed neat conceptually, but there was... Nothing happened in that fight. Clad in the Vizier's armor, Cabela is staring at the spot where just a short time ago lay the body of the man who raised her. Her shoulders are shaking and her head hangs low, but no tears are to be seen and no sobs come from behind her mask of dark gold. Suddenly, she throws her head back, and a desperate cry, full of pain, fury, and regret, echoes around the temple. This is not the Vizier, nor a spinner you see before you, just a daughter who has lost her father. I know this is a ridiculous question to ask, but how are you doing? The tenets of the web teach us never to regret or hesitate, but I could never have imagined that I would one day have to make a choice this painful. I did what had to be done, but that does not quell the pain. I know he is the Undying One's hands, but that does not soothe the grief. Yeah. And also, sadly, it's really, really difficult to not do that level of damage. Not like the level of damage I'm doing, but the level of damage where they don't get to use their kit. Yeah, pretty much. I feel like I'm just going through the motions and getting to learn the story. I feel like I'm on story mode. I know he is in the Undying One's hands, but that does not soothe the grief. You've done your I'm sorry, losing a mentor is hard. He was more than that. He was both a friend and a father. Did I just see the God Emperor in the flesh? Was that how you saw the Vizier? You saw an image of death in him? But it was only an image. Fumes of the sacred intoxicant blessed our ritual. But what you saw and killed was a mere man. The Undying One does not come to the living. We come to him. What did the Vizier look like to you? Younger. The way he was when I first met or saw him, I was younger too. It was as though we were facing each other in a training match like we used to. Am I to call you Vizier now? I do not want to lose my name as my mentor lost his. But no spinner will ever speak it again, for I am their Vizier. Yet you are my Daemon, and I am your shadow. Let me remain Cabela to you at the very least. You immediately donned the Vizier's armor. Is it helping you to embrace your new role? I think so, yes. I sense the weight of the sacred vestment, the weight of the Vizier's burden, and the decisions I must make. From this day forth, my burden. What will become of the blood-spun web now? Change lies ahead. Traveling with you has given me many insights. We have been lurking in the shadows for too long. That was why we failed to prevent the Nemesite's crimes or foil the Abomination's plot. That was why we failed to protect Dom and Theodora. And I will not let anything like that happen to you. The blood-spun web will stretch its threads out of the shadows and absorb new blood. We will open the temple to those among our congregation who wish to serve the flagship and the Undying One. We will grow our numbers. We will train fighters. We will share the Enforcer's duty and fortify them with our skills. We will shun defending our grounds in confinement and go on the offensive. We will no longer be unseen guardians, but we will become his soldiers and yours. Bella studies the spinners. Her voice thunders under the temple's vaults. Bow now before your new Vizier. And 100 whispers reply, death salutes you.
We must act.
Alright, it is time for ads. The ads will last for 3 minutes. They disable pre-roll and mid-roll ads for the next hour on Twitch. I don't do anything in the meantime, so nobody misses out on any content. And I will catch everyone after the ads. Why is there just ambient grunting going on? The big issue with
Ready
that,
to serve the machine god.
the big issue with that is they, added, Aogun here with Galvanic Field, and you know, Galvanic Field's retaliatory damage. So now when the enemies retaliate attack on you, they just kill themselves faster. Alright. Ads are finished. Let us continue. And by continue, I mean save, go to the main menu and reload, because this bug is back. Cabela. Bygone Sorrow.
It's about time.
Show me the way. I have a question. Are there any power armors in this game that are good for psychers? Sorry, just thinking about a potential second playthrough or what have you. Void Ship Shrine, I want to get rid of this and grab that.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Yeah, specifically hitting things with 4 swords. Because I was going to use the Psyker's Breastplate, but I may as well go a power armor if there's a better Psyker power armor for that now. The reason I am doing this is because I'm testing to see if the party order affects turn order in combat. Heinrichs has been second in the party for a while, second or third in the party for a while now, and Jai was behind him, and Jai was going first. So I will see if putting Heinrichs towards the end makes him go first instead, because that is the turn order that I wish to have. Alright. Now what am I doing? I keep getting distracted by all these, things that happen, and I feel like I'm getting nowhere. The abandoned palace. Yeah, I'm gonna be a warrior into a, one moment, let me find my sheet. Warrior Arc Militant. That is the plan. The adherent or family works well. Did I not get the... Oh, it's here. I thought I got the family. Did I not? Familial power armor. Is this the one that you were talking about? Because I don't see anything special on it. It just seems like a very weak power armor. And adherent would be nice if I didn't plan on having, or if I had planned on having all humans. But if I'm heretic, I'm probably having like Marzai and the demon dude. Just for the free strength. Gotcha. That's fair.
Victory awaits.
By the grace of the God Emperor of mankind, we, Hamon, Nigel von Powen, for the good of our world and the deliverance of our people, from the wrath of the heavens and the fury of distant stars, hereby command, provide for the needs of the governor's office no more and no fewer than 20 faithful young men and maidens picked in accordance with our instructions, each 7th rotation around the heavenly body, robust and firm in body and spirit, voluptuous in shape, of similar height and stature, dainty and beautiful, fair of hair. I see. You at least are gearing towards spawning a lot of perils and surviving them, and utilizing breastplate. It's +2 peril per, so nerf isn't that bad at high level heresy. That's fair.
Follow my
They've been
lead.
purged by the Emperor's will. Bonebreaker Maul. Symphony of Pain. That sounds hilarious.
A job for me.
Desiccated manuscripts date back a dozen centuries. This palace is probably one of the oldest outposts of the Imperium. Enforcer light boots. When the wearer parries an attack, they immediately strike back at the attacker. If this attack deals damage, the wearer performs kick to push the enemy away. Good morning, Zep. How's it going? Hope all is well. Okay, Shroud of Dauntlessness. Whenever the wielder performs a heroic act or a desperate measure, they gain 2 AP, 6 MP, 10 and 8 temp wounds.
Trivial, as I prognosticated. The machine god was benevolent to me.
Lots of loot here. Focal emitter Mark II. Yes. I have an upgrade finally. Only thing it really does is give more armor pen, but you know, that's still nice.
It's about time.
Yeah, the crashes just come with the territory.
Something of interest.
Okay. Broken Vox. I cannot go on like this. Helona. I cannot. I served my master loyally, as did my father, and his father before that, but this cannot continue. No. No, I am tired. To bury the corpses of murderers and traitors to the Imperium is the noble thing to do, but now I must conceal the deaths of these innocent young men and women. They are almost children. First be the day when the governor became the ruler of this world. I will break this vicious circle. This I promise. Tonight I will flee the estate, and together we will journey to the Star Speakers. They will warn the servants of the God Emperor about the heresy lurking in these walls. They will return for us. They will save us. Just wait for me, Helona. Just wait until I return.
A new challenge for me? Halt! I noticed something.
Nuncius solved this conundrum.
I feel a sneeze coming on. Give me a sec. Alright. Done violently sneezing. Ow.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
Wisdom is a catalyst for knowledge. I possess both.
Ancient servitors, corrupted noble. Thank you.
I won't tolerate weakness.
A lushly dressed, vaguely human-like carcass sits reclined in a massive Calixian oak armchair. Calloused brownish-blue patches cover the dead flesh, overlapping one another like snake scales. One of the hands, claws of exposed bone, supports a grotesquely bloated face. The creature's chest remains motionless, and its eyes stay tightly closed, and yet the muscles on the distorted face twitch ever so briskly when you approach. Heinrich raises a hand, commanding you to stop, and then presses an index finger to his lips. His face is more tense than usual, and there's a semblance of doubt in his eyes. The interrogator gestures toward the exit. I gotta blow my nose. The fact that it is operational is phenomenon, but an ominous one. I advise we retreat, rogue trader. Who are you? Speak up. The creature's eyelids flutter open, searing you with the unnatural glow of its yellow pupils. The disfigured lips twist, stretching the smile wider and wider, until the thin skin bursts with a sharp snap, revealing row after row of pointed teeth. Ho, Murdashing, Rufnagel, Hapt. A twisted guttural voice bursts from the creature's throat, and it roars with laughter. Hey Morag, Elentok, do not get in the way. The projectile strikes right between the creature's glowing eyes, barely piercing the scale-covered forehead. The blood, black and viscous like tar, slowly runs down the malformed face. Light of the throne, Jai clutches the Aquila, looking at the creature's corpse with disgust. I had to deal with mutants, both in the sewers of Footfall and in the depths of the Underhives, but this one, did you see his eyes? They burn like embers in the empty eye sockets. Do not think me a coward, Lord Captain, but I would prefer to leave this place as soon as we can. Who knows how many such creatures lurk in the palace depths? It starts speaking again. A long, snake-like tongue emerges from the creature's mouth and licks its own blood, savoring it like wine. The wound from the shot heals before your very eyes, as if it was never there. Welcome to my feast. The creature idly jiggles its chins in an effort to remember human speech, its jowls melding into its shoulders and faintly glowing ribcage. A peculiar accessory, shaped like a scarab and covered in luminous patterns, has painfully lodged itself into the flesh of the creature, something that undoubtedly used to be a man. You've heard of the powerful Xeno artifacts from distant Halo stars, discovered by humanity millennia ago, artifacts that belong to a race more ancient than the most venerable among the Eldari, artifacts most impure, fatally dangerous, forbidden in the Imperium, on threat of the cruelest of tortures, and yet capable of granting the darkest of human desires a means to cheat death and embrace eternal life. Rogue Trader, stay back. Hamix grabs his weapon, and the air around you shimmers with otherworldly frost. The bearers of the Halo devices pose a grave threat, even to the finest agents of the Inquisition. They are fast, strong, immune to poisons, and immortal. Halo Oculus. There are many legends among cold traders about the ancient Xeno artifacts, lost among the stars of the Cronus Expanse and the Calixis sector. A little something that would make you more influential than the honorable novice nobility, and just as wealthy as the esteemed rogue traders. The price of immortality. Jai presses the Aquila to her lips. Not even in my own heart does the flame of greed burn hotly enough to betray humanity and stain my soul forever. Inconceivable. A mythologeme made flesh. You wish it was better? I've heard of the Halo Oculus and the immortality it brings, but those were just profane rumors. Should any drop of it prove true, the bearer of this artifact is a priceless specimen for analysis. Attack! Be gone, monster! The elucidator fails to interpret the twisted speech taking root in your mind like a pestilent weed. The creature contentedly snacks its lips. I will finally taste the savory flesh again.
Submit, and you'll die quickly.
None of you shall survive.
Nope, Jai just goes first regardless. Okay, that's fine. I will just deal with it. Oh yeah, I need to give him a new item because he had the logic test thing that he got, and now we don't. So I need to give him another item.
that my blood? Am I getting paid for this? You've got a problem? I've got a price. I can do that with the right incentive. How about no? Don't get too cocky.
Ayo gun.
A valid argument. Executing command. A valid argument. Executing command. The machine spirits approve. Curious. Pegasus, engage. Astute.
Alright, there we are.
Vengeance will be swift.
Okay, we come over here. Just move these around a little into the order I wish them.
I won't object to
I
it.
have seen this before. In my
But of
exile.
course, Lord Captain. Let's see to it. For the throne's glory.
Ah, for Trump's sake! Great Emperor, do not leave me now.
Go on, beast. Your turn.
Playing tricks on us!
Natural armor, that's whatever. Choosing the game. Alright, this seems not terrible. The Halo device doesn't seem awful, it's just not amazing.
Blasphemy terminated. Statistical error.
Yeah. This is base game, Act 4. Hull.
This tedium is beneath me. I understand.
Oh, I didn't get the kill? Really?
If it serves your cause. as the swift.
Witchcraft!
I am not your ancestors. Guide me. This tedium is beneath me. I understand. Deal death with my hands.
Alright, she did a fair bit there. Yeah. Well, I mean, they had to try and make it somewhat balanced, right? They can't just make something stupid overpowered and, you know, have no consequence for it, can they?
Removing restrictions on the galvanic cell.
Already done. Suits my purposes.
To anybody that wasn't actually, like, actively looking at what I was doing, I was hovering over, the commander's chrono while saying that. Because, that is, you know, absolutely busted with no, repercussions and is super easy to get. So, you know. Alright, I will weapon optimizer. And then I want to brace. Come down here.
Nothing
Reckless
I can't
strike.
do. My tactics are flawless.
Serve the great enemy.
Okay, then I can come up here.
Already done.
Freebie charge. Into a freebie charge. After I sworn enemy.
Suits
Devastating
my
attack.
purposes. Watch and learn. There's nowhere to hide. Opposing me was your biggest mistake. We shall prevail.
Easy game. Alright, this is level 48. Exploit weakness. And perception. Abelard, you are getting unyielding resolve. And then toughness. Hey, how's it going, Falcon? Hope all is well. Hey again. I don't know what I want here. You know what? Let's go Brother in Arms. Just extra resolve on everybody. Not that it's needed in any way, shape, or form, but if there is something that I'd want, it would be that. We have Intelligence maxed out here. We want Fellowship next. Jai. Strong point. And we are maxed out on Fellowship. Let us go Ballistic Skill. Juliet. Share the spoils. And intelligence. Heinrichs. Brother in Arms. Willpower. There we go.
None shall stand in my way.
I have a Halo device. Yes. Nerf the OP Halo device. Also nerfs the OP armor-piercing ammo and, you know, Portative Manipulator. But definitely leave Commander's Chrono alone. And other items as such. Totally not being tongue-in-cheek here. Its flavor text is too powerful. Alright, let's head back up here. Okay. Ooh. What is going on in Langren's belt? The homunculus's prism. Yeah, let's do it. I've already done this, right? I've not. Immediately after the ship approaches, close enough to the planet, the strange artifact from the homunculus's laboratory activates, trying to receive the incoming signal from the planet's surface. The black faces of the prism have started to emit a pulsating lilac light. The Augur team reports that the source of the signal is a small beacon, which cannot be studied from orbit. A group of living organisms is detected around the beacon. Send a scout team to the source of the signal. A disgusting sight unfolds before the scouts. In a sinister, high-fenced enclosure, hideous mutants crawl and writhe, hundreds of ugly beasts, their shapes vaguely reminiscent of humans, squirm on several pairs of deformed arms and legs, incapable of attacking or doing much of anything else beyond crawling in the dirt. The creatures are riven with endless pain, which seems to feed the Drukhari beacon at the very center of the pen. A pulsating lilac light flows from the beacon. Order the team to activate the beacon. The activated beacon on the planet emits a thin lilac beam, sending out a signal, which is promptly accepted by the artifact on board. The prism unfolds into many small petals and shows a holographic image of a certain planet and corresponding coordinates. Order the scouts to bring the beacon to the ship. In response to the beacon's attempted removal, the collars and chains binding the mutants together suddenly activate, emitting a series of destructive impulses that slowly inflate and explode the beasts one after the other. In nightmarish agony, writhing and shrieking from unbearable pain, the homunculus's victims are finally granted their deaths and long-awaited freedom. I see pirates. Let's go have fun with pirates. A chase is ensuing behind the stained glass windows of the bridge. Several pirate raiders are trying to catch up with the cruiser, fruitlessly firing salvos at it from their macro cannons. The officers of the Augur crew report they're chasing the elusive Contempt, the legendary pirate flagship that has been plundering cargo ships around the Expanse for several hundred years, masterfully evading patrols and escaping unpunished with the loot. Shelby, the proto-speculator, the elusive Contempt's captain, addresses you via Vox in a cheerful, almost affectionate voice. He thanks you for the high-grade resources mined by the Von Valentius Extractiums, and also for your invaluable assistance in his escape. As soon as Shelby finishes his speech, the elusive Contempt swiftly enters the warp, and a powerful salvo intended for his vessel explodes against your void ship's shields instead. They dare attack a rogue trader. Prepare for battle. Been a little bit since I got a space combat.
Fight the foes of the rogue trader!
That is the elusive Contempt.
Annihilate them! Set the course! Unleash!
And then I will protect my butt. No torpedo salvos ready. What? Did one of my posts get screwy? Yes. I see. Big damage.
Already dead? Pathetic ashmugs.
Alright, this is a little unexpected here. And before, this is how I die. Where is... Did it already leave? All right.
Macro cannon, volley! Leave their hull strewn across the star! Onward!
Protect my front. Restart shields.
Annihilate them!
Okay, then I can come up here.
The time has come. Onward! Torpedo!
And I will get my left side. Alright, that was a little scary for the very first turn, but then we turned it around. That's fine. I need to put people in my posts again. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, what do we have here? Go to the world of Quetzaltemur. What is going on in Quetzaltemur? Artrafal's Calamity. Amsanct. Sure. Permission to speak, Lord Captain. The Augur crew has registered activity in the orbit of Quetzaltemur, one of the worlds of the Winterscale dynasty. Ah, that's what it is. Okay. According to the report, the Emperor's Vow, the flagship of the rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, is positioned over the southern hemisphere. Lord Captain, this is it. Right here, so very close. Quiet whispers, they won't stop. They keep buzzing in both my ears that my little door is somewhere in this world. Alright, calm down. I need to take care of the Winterscale's flagship right now. Of course, Lord Captain, I dare not interrupt you any longer. After a brief hesitation, Vigdis's voice comes through the hissing of static once more. Allow me to repeat, Lord Captain, the Emperor's Vow, the flagship of the rogue trader Caligos Winterscale, has been detected in the orbit of Quetzaltemur, one of the Winterscale worlds. What are your orders? What information does our librarian have on the Winterscale flagship? The Emperor's Vow is a cruiser carrying up to 120,000 crew. Length overall, 6,000 meters. Beam, 1,000 meters. Estimated time of service in the Winterscale dynasty. Fleet, several millennia. It is known for a fact that the ship has undergone many modifications, including the replacement of macro weapons for long-range laser batteries and short-range macro batteries, and I am afraid this is all we know, Lord Captain. Incredibly ancient, incredibly complex, incredibly unpredictable, and extremely demanding when it comes to resources. Had I been one of the Highborn, though, unofficial, rulers of the Expanse, I would definitely have chosen this void ship for myself. The Librarian of House Orselio also held records on the Emperor's Vow. Its most famous owner, to be precise, Sebastian Winterscale, is a fledgling rogue trader of great promise. This planet's peak content on a heretic run? Ooh, fun. It is not known how Sebastian acquired this ship, but the Lord Captain Winterscale used it to traverse the Maw and find a new home in the Cronus Expanse. And this is all you have to report? No, of course not. The officers are about to extend the range of the wave emitters. Lord Captain, the data has been updated. Quetzaltemur's largest continent suffered from a moderate Xenos planetary invasion. We also discovered the wreckage of several Eldari vessels. On the periphery of the system, another vessel crashed onto the world, causing minor seismic activity. A dozen shuttles of the Winterscale dynasty are patrolling the space directly above the crash site. I presume the Xenos hunt is in full swing, and the hunter has already caught the scent of its prey. Don't take me. Beg your forgiveness, Lord Captain. The Emperor's vow has detected the empowered emanations of our augurs and requesting permission to initiate Vox transfer. What would you have us do? Hail the Emperor's vow. It will be done. By the grace of the machine spirits, the air gradually fills with discordant noises until the Vox Master flips the last tumbler on the Cogitator's panel. The Emperor's vow sends its greetings to the glorious ruler of the Von Valencius dynasty. This is Erbrit Dafe, his lordship Caligos Winterscale's Vox Master, who has the honor of speaking on behalf of his lord today. The booming voice fills the air, startling a few officers on the bridge. However, you feel that Erbrit Dafe's ostentatiously confident tone is meant to hide his concern. Not even the void of the cosmos can hide your anxiety, Erbrecht. Now speak. By the gold of the throne, the scions of Von Valencius are shrewd to a man. The Vox Master loudly clears his throat, looking for the right words. You see, the Lord Captain had yet another heated argument with the esteemed Incendia Chorda, and he had a very good reason for his displeasure. I dare not discuss his lordship's affairs, but I can divulge that we set out to protect the dynasty's rightful domain from the invasion of the profane Xenos. This is how we arrived here at Quetzaltemur. There's no better hunting ground when you need to cool off your head, I believe, the Lord Captain said. We easily crushed the pathetic mockery of a fleet that was laying siege to the unfortunate world. Of course, most of the Xenos fled, but we did reduce a few of their ships to chum for the Void Beasts. An Eldari fleet. That means there are many more Crudorak survivors than I dared hope. A secondary Vox channel transmits Irliot's voice, laden with desperation. Elentok, I must go to this planet to find them. Try to save them. I will help you find your kin. And I am grateful to you, Elentok. Something tells me the story does not end here. You see, your lordship, one of the Eldari ships crashed on Quetzaltemur, so the Lord Captain chose to descend and finish off the elusive prey, but he has not been able to find his way out of the local woods for over 30 days now, and this concerns me greatly. Anticipating the next question, your lordship? No. I am confident the Lord Captain is still alive. His body and spirit do not break easily, and besides, he is accompanied by Wharton the Grey, who would sell his soul if that helped to keep the Lord Captain out of harm's way. May Asurion protect his children. We must halt the frenzy of your stellar rival, Elentok, or else, by Isha's tears, his subjects will not escape retribution. I will try to convince Caligos to seek a peaceful resolution. Hurry up, Elentok, before there's nothing left to decide. How could you not find your master over the course of 30 days? Things are not so simple, your lordship. The Lord Captain last contacted me from the landing point, currently right under the Vow's belly. We lost about a dozen shuttles and several hundred scouts in the first days of the search, all of whom went to Quetzaltemur and never came back. Our shuttles are relentlessly sweeping the airspace where our people perished. This way, we were able to reduce the search area to just a few thousand kilometers, which still does not change the fact that people in the thicket are disappearing without a trace, and something is jamming the Vox transmissions. Alright, it is time for ads once again. They will last for 3 minutes. They disable pre-roll and mid-roll ads for the next hour on Twitch. I don't do anything in the meantime, so nobody misses any content. And I will catch you all after the ads. Alright, the ads are finished. Let us continue. Was there anyone else with, Caligos aside from this Wharton? Full hunting party consisting of half 100 hand-picked enforcers and his lordship's personal retinue, naturally. What do you want from me? A generous favor in return for a generous favor? Find Lord Captain Winterscale on Quetzaltemur and bring him back to the Emperor's vow. I swear by the Golden Throne that I will convince him to side with you in any conflict that occurs in the next 100 years. After all, I'm allowed to make deals on the Lord Captain's behalf while he remains unavailable. An excellent way to show Caligos who's the strongest rogue trader in the Expanse. Count me in. They do say that rising stars burn brighter than the old. The data transfer decree has been signed. My crew will send you the landing coordinates. The God Emperor's grace shine upon you for many years to come. Okay, that's the ancient bunker. I've already been there. Adira wants to land on this planet too, right? Yeah. Alright, Adira. Come here. Question. Who will I have for Lore Warp if I bring her along? I don't think I'm going to have anybody for Lore Warp if I bring her along instead of Heinrichs. That would be amusing. Oh yeah. I should, no, not you. Me. Give myself the better eye. This'll be fine, probably. We have 4 ranks. We'll go combat insight, because we can get there from buffs. And then we want... Let's go lore warp. I'll go sharpshooter and lore warp. Let's go unnatural luck. And then we will go ballistics, perception. Let's get ballistics to 60. Soul pattern long last. Yeah, that'll do well enough. And the staff of shock and awe. Inrix, what do you have that's giving psi rating? Inrix, you can use this instead from now on. Meanwhile, she gets this. And I will give the Blood Drinker staff over. Cabela... Ooh, Cabela's Dogmatic 4 now. Yeah, we'll go 8 psi rating here. That'll be fine. We have the emergency injector, so if she blows up, she should be able to get back up. That should be sufficient. Heinrichs. That's funny. Okay, what do we have here?
It's about time.
Rusted containers for transporting supplies. I don't know which way to go. Let's go left first. The shuttle disappears in the wild vegetation of the island. Several hours pass before the rogue trader finally admits that he's been aimlessly wandering around in circles. Any attempts to get back on track by retracing his steps have failed. Vox communication cannot reach the ship. Now it becomes clear how Caligos Winterscale could get lost on his own world.
We need
I
to
sense
investigate.
something nearby. I have learned much in my exile.
Follow my lead. What is that?
A trivial task.
Alright, we will go left again. The rogue trader requires rest, and he soon finds a suitable spot for a camp. A meadow with a few fruit-bearing trees. A creature with an elongated body and a large blunt claws leisurely descends from one of the trees. The muzzle is red as if stained with blood. It turns out to be merely the juices of the fruit from the nearby trees. The fruit has a peculiar taste, reminiscent of Grok's meat, baked in sweet and sour sauce.
Victory awaits!
The monkey will pay for your suffering. Suffering. Their spirit stones are shattered. And she who thirsts has long finished her feast. We will destroy them, every monkey who... Did you hear that? The soul destroyers are back. Cain, fill our hearts with fury.
Smite the Xenos!
Relent for Isha's mercy. We are here to help you. Ambushed.
Okay, now I'm really riled up. I can do that with the right incentive. Am I getting paid for this? Tell me, and it is done. You jest, surely. You've got a problem. I've got a prize. Don't get too cocky. Am I getting paid for this? Don't get too cocky.
My momentum.
Lucius and Elaine.
We just buff.
Assess and act consistent. A valid argument on the side can make both flesh and machine. Lucius is skeptical about this.
Die.
You've got a problem.
Blasphemy terminated.
One down.
Can I fall back now?
Time to blow up.
Anything else?
This defies reason.
Let's see what you can do. On it. But of course. Anything else?
Hey.
Quiet, Whispers! It's my toy, and I'm gonna control it myself.
I'll return this favor tenfold.
There we go.
I will not fail the craft world. I answer the call.
It should neither.
Here, Liette.
Join the ancestors.
Power. I am not your
And then we can do this.
This tedium is beneath me.
Miss? Horse shit. Alright, whatever.
I do not fear.
I shall not fear.
As if Caligos wasn't great enough otherwise, he has also angered elves, apparently. Truly the ideal rogue trader.
All too easy. Nothing I can't do.
Reckless strike.
Suits mine.
Go into the darkness.
Absolutely not.
I will wildfire.
I'll return this favor
We
tenfold.
didn't stand a chance.
And then come up here. Charge in.
My specialty.
Over here. Charge in.
Already done. They say a little bit of humility never hurts anyone. I help others better themselves by wholeheartedly humiliating them at every step.
Guardian long rifle. Does it have anything special on it? No, not really.
A new challenge for me.
Bodies of the Eldari have been hacked to pieces with extreme brutality. Their wounds indicate it was done by a power weapon of some kind. The soil under the bodies has turned a rusty brown from the gore. Gracious Isha, only a true monster is capable of such atrocity.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Alright, I'm gonna go left again. Halfway through the day, the rogue trader discovers a new wonder of Quetzaltemir's forests. A spacious stretch of land overgrown with reddish-brown grass, covered in sickening yellow blisters. No other plant can be seen among the red blades of grass. The answer to this mystery may have something to do with pale spider-like insects crawling on the underside of the blades.
These web spinners bathe in blood, gut corpses, and perform shady rituals. Reminds me, how are these cultists any better than the ones we kill?
Because they do all that to someone other than us, obviously.
Too hard for a simple monkey.
Something of interest.
Ooh, an 82% lore Xenos.
My success was inevitable.
Alright, we're gonna go left again.
None shall stand in my way.
Dwellers of the forest, huh? A group of lean, young people surrounds you, shooting anxious glances between you and the gray-headed elder, who has stepped forward. Unlike the rest, her skin is completely free of decoration, save for the two-headed eagle branded on her wrinkled forehead. Speaks with gods, foresaw our meeting, Starborn. Woman's accent grates on the ears. Her words sound like a fusion of High Gothic and the most vulgar tongue of the rabble. Welcome to the heart of the forest, where leads ahead and her tribe have dwelt ever since the rule of Quetzaltimur himself. This ruler has ordered her tribe to prepare a feast and warm shelter for our starborn guests. Please make yourselves at home. Food and shelter. So long to our worn-out boots and sodden cape, Shireen. My homeworld has a wise rule: never dismiss the hospitality of those who consider you their overlord. Who are you? We are children of the fiery mother and the pale father, who look after us by day and guard us by night, the faithful servants of the two-headed eagle god, who shield our lands from misfortune with his wings. We are the ungone, forest-dwelling children of the earth and the guardians of the temple of Quetzaltimur, the first starborn to have ever set foot on the virgin soil of this land. Faithful servants of the two-headed eagle god, huh? That sounds an awful lot like, Tzeentch. Or at least one of his underlings. Just saying. The eagle god, you say? Is it his brand that is burned on your forehead? Oh yes, many seasons have changed since this ruler received the eagle god's blessing and became the leader of this tribe. Only those close to the gods are allowed to bear their brand, and this ruler is one of them. I thought that Quetzaltimur was the name of this place, but you speak of it as if it's a figure, or if it were a figure from the past. The legends of this place claim that a long time ago, the first among the Starborn descended upon this world together with this ruler's ancestors, created the ancient cities and temples, and brought the blessing of the eagle god unto these forests and lands. The fast-flowing time has erased the Starborn's name from the minds of the people. Only his title remains, Quetzaltimur, the first of the chosen, the sky herald of the eagle god, and the father of tribes. Semi-famous heraldry in real life too, and not for the best reasons. That's great. Why do you call me Starborn? Because you are the sky herald of the eagle god, created by him from the stars' glow and the night sky's darkness. The one who carries his seal in your image, clad in the armor of our ancestors' most ancient prophecies. Was my coming here foretold? Like you've never heard that one before, Lord Captain. Oh yes, Speaks with Gods is the priest of this tribe, and this ruler's half-brother. He listens to the forest and calls to the earth, wards off the punishing lashes of the skies, and speaks to the Eagle God on behalf of our tribe. Before disappearing in the wandering forest, he told this ruler to prepare for your arrival. What else does Speaks with Gods predict? Quetzaltemer is enraged by the invasion of the spirits from the darkness that have called a rain of fire and metal upon this world. He demands blood, and blood shall sate the soil, no matter the path chosen by the gods, who have come to right the wrong. Spirits from the darkness, so that is how the monkey of this world see my kin, as invaders, a calamity. Merely lets out a strained sigh. But these monkey have neither teeth nor claws. They are not even aware of the most basic technologies that your kind uses. So then why do my kin burn their world so fiercely? The elder recoils in fear after making out Irliot's true face with her half-blind eyes. The Starborn will be accompanied by a spirit to put an end to the misfortunes of this world. Thus spoke the priest. Seeing a spirit among the living is wrong. Spirits should stay in the spirit realm, and humans in the realm of the living. If only you knew, my honorable Damar, how I agree with your every word. Jai casts a knowing glance at Irliot, but says nothing more. You think that several gods have set foot on Quetzaltemer? This ruler has already had the honor to greet a Starborn, as strong as a saber-toothed boar, as nimble as a forest jaguar, and as wise as the three-tongued guardian snake. Like a whirlwind, he charged into Quetzaltemer's forest, chasing the spirits from the darkness that had descended upon the world 3 10-day moons before. The Starborn had lost his priest in battle, so he ordered this ruler's brother to help him trace the spirits' footsteps and cleanse Quetzaltemer of their filth. But when Speaks with Gods left his home, something enraged the forest. Thus both the Starborn and this ruler's brother were trapped by the ever-changing paths and lurking evil spirits. Powers of my kin may have disturbed the wild flora of this world, which then concealed the remnants of the children of Kruderak from the wrath of your rival. That means that they are somewhere in the forest, surviving, hiding, preying on one another. You know where your brother and the other Starborn are now? The Eagle God Sky Herald wanted to find the den of the spirits from the darkness and destroy it, but the forest of Quetzaltemer is as endless as the sky above. Where the sky touches the forest's edge, the Deadlands begin. The realm of the dead, whence there is no return. Something's calling. It's calling and calling. There is a place of no return. Sits the shadow of one who is both alive and dead at once. The voices are calling me. They're calling so desperately. But why? Why? The elder looks at Adira with genuine reverence, nodding slightly after every word, her mouth half open. This ruler's brother did warn that a priestess from the stars would descend upon this world, or this ruler's land, in her search for answers. Just as he said, she would wish to head down the path of death to find reincarnation. How do you even survive in these forests? Speaks with Gods, hears the whispers of the leaves, and can commune with the tree spirits. The entire tribe participates in his soothing rituals, and that allows this ruler and her people to tread on safe paths. And how exactly do we conduct the soothing ritual? The ritual requires a site imbued with the powers of Quetzaltemer, the heart of our village, and a priest to perform it. Alas, the fire rain claimed many of this ruler's priests, and thus this ruler's tribe can only pray for mercy of the God Eagle and his Starborn Sky Heralds. Don't look at me, Lord Captain. I don't know the first thing about this priestly groxwash. It doesn't take a diviner to realize I'd fry my brains if I tried to mess with some weird ritual. And that's if we were lucky. If we weren't so lucky, I'd end up frying everybody else's brains. Doesn't sound too promising, does it? Nevertheless, this ruler knows that you will bring Speaks with Gods home and soothe the forest of Quetzaltemur. The prophecies of the priests have never betrayed our tribe before, and thus this ruler asks you to forget about your worries and rest here in the heart of the forest. And I wish to rest. It is an honor for this ruler's tribe to serve you, O Starborn. Follow the path of light. You will find your shelter, food, and water. When you decide that it is time to follow the priest and your Starborn kin, this tribe will pray to the Eagle God himself for your success. Alright, I know that this is a very, very short stream. It's only been 3.5 hours, but my throat is absolutely raw at the moment. So, I am going to call it here, and rest up, and hope that I can stream for more tomorrow. Thank you all for stopping by. Very much appreciate it. If you enjoyed what you saw, please hit the follow button or subscribe button on YouTube. And I hope to catch you all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and take care.